Hey John, where's Kev? Don't know, not seen him since the last smite. Hi, I'm taking my Tyranids to an event soon, and keep an eye out on the channel for updates about that. But in this video, I'm going to review whether the Tyranid Psychic Bomb is still a good tactic or not. Starting with the Melonthrope. It's a 150 point character that's not quite as good in 9th edition as it was in 8th. The main reason being that its Shrouding Spores -1 to hit rule only affects single hive fleets rather than the entire army, and in 9th the prevalence is to select a hive fleet for different detachments depending on whether you're buffing melee or shooting. It has quite a situational rerolls of wound rolls of 1, and in the fight phase it can deal some mortal wounds. Big downside for this for 150 points is that it's a HQ and it's competing in quite a heavily contested slot for the Tyranid army. And finally, while it has 9 wounds, it doesn't have an invulnerable save. And with only a 5+ armor save, it's not going to survive very long. Now for the Neurothrope. A 95 point character is pretty much a staple in most Tyranid armies. For 5 wounds and 3 up invul, it's not getting taken off the table very easily. It has the ability to regenerate wounds, but its big ability is to reroll 1s in the psychic phase, for himself or other Zoanthrope units. Now, technically, rules as written, this rule has been broken in 9th because the core rules have changed, and the rule talks about rolls of 1, not results of 1. And it's impossible to get a roll of 1 out of 2d6 dice. You're always going to be getting minimum 2, so you're never going to be able to use this rule. However, for me, rules as intended, it was always designed to reroll 1s on each dice rather than as the overall result. So I'm going to continue playing that. If you're taking this into a tournament though, that might be a different matter. You often see 2 or 3 of these in the list, but taking at least 1 is going to add a lot of value, especially when it comes to the next one, the Zoanthrope. 3 wounds, 3 up invuln, for only 50 points. This is probably the most efficient psyker in the game at the moment. The benefit for the rerolls of 1 from the Neurothrope, they have a 24 inch rather than 18 inch. And depending on how many you have in the squad, their smite damage is even more. So if the Zoanthrope unit has more than 4, then it will do additional damage. And it can do 2 psychic powers as well. So for 4 and 5 units, you get an extra D3, and for 6 units, you get a flat 3. Assuming you're still getting the Neurothrope support and you're not in a tournament, which is going to ban that, it's a very efficient unit. And taking 4 or 5 of them with a Neurothrope is definitely the way to go with this Psychic Bomb. For 5 Zoanthropes and a Neurothrope, it's about 350 points, so you definitely have to think about building your army around this. A really good synergy is with the Swarm Lord and its Hive Commander ability. Once the unit has done its damage in the Psychic phase, the Swarm Lord can actually move them back into cover out of danger. Let me know what you think of this and watch this video next.